Before the arenas, before the awards.
This is b4Nashville Live. Have a question for our guest?
Send it to us via Messenger.
Here's your
screen there we go. All right, so tonight I've got a Nashville recording artist. We're going to talk a little bit to her. She has been called country music's answer to Adele, and it was even stated by one person that her voice is like chocolate cake. So if you're a chocolate cake fan, then there you go. You're ready to go. We're going to talk to her coming up in 30 seconds, so just stick around, all right?
b4Nashville is proudly sponsored by Go-Go Tuners, the go-to tuner for professional and amateur musicians. Get your Go-Go Tuner at gogotuners.com. By Heart to Heart Coffee, the coffee that gives back. Find out more at heart2heartcoffee.com. By Sibby's Apparel, worn by heroes, made with respect. Order yours at sibby'sapparel.com. And by Three Rangers Whiskey, not for the weak or faint-hearted. ThreeRangers.com.
All right, so I hope everybody's doing well. Had a great weekend, and like I said, her voice has been described. Actually, let me rephrase that, because this is the exact quote, as rich chocolate cake with soul. And we already have a fan and viewer chiming in saying, I'm a chocolate cake fan. So
me too. I like any cake, really. I don't.
That's me. As long as it doesn't get up and run off, it's pretty much good, and it's fair game. So I got Taylor Hughes joining me tonight. Taylor is originally from Kentucky.
Yes. Originally from
Lexington, Kentucky. Now she's residing in Nashville, Tennessee. And I got to tell you, this is going to be a fun show, because I found out some info about you today. We're going to talk about later on, and you may hurt me or somebody else. So,
oh goodness.
We'll find out. If you have a question that you want to shoot to Taylor, head on over to our Facebook page. You can do it right there. Just shoot us a message on Facebook, and we'll pass that on to Taylor. So first off, Taylor, tell me, Lexington, Kentucky, it's got some background in country music in that area. And so here you are. How did you get into music in the younger Taylor Hughes days?
Yeah, so it's kind of a funny story. I always tell people that I've been singing since I came out of the womb, but no one knew about it. So, growing up, I was always in the school shows and talent shows and stuff like that, but no one ever really took it too seriously. And I don't even think I really did either, because I guess I just didn't really know that my dreams were something I could do, And so I was really involved in athletics growing up, middle school, throughout high school, had big plans on going to college on a volleyball scholarship. And I actually blew my knee out my junior year of high school. And that's kind of what set me on my course towards music. So at the time, I thought my world was ending, but it was actually a blessing in disguise. I think I was probably about 17 or 18 when I decided that I wanted to take guitar lessons. So I went to my dad, and he was like, oh, well, sure. Yeah, why not? We'll go get you guitar lessons. And come to find out, my guitar teacher, who I still work with today, he's basically family, is someone that my dad babysat back in the day. So it was this weird, full circle moment, clearly was meant to be, right?
Right.
And his name's Paul Felice. Love him. I call him my uncle. He likes to say he's my cousin, but whatever, But I had just a few guitar lessons with him, probably maybe 2 or 3. And he was like, oh, you sing? And I was like, I dabble in it, I kind of sing. No one really knows. And he was like, well, I'm going to take you to Nashville. And I was like, you're going to what? What are you talking about? I've never performed on my own before, never been on a stage by myself. This was unheard of to me. No way. So there was a TV Comcast down here. I don't think it's on anymore, but it was called Nashville Spotlight. And somehow he had connections with it. And he told my parents that he wanted to take me down to Nashville to be on this show. And they were very confused. They were like, there's no way she knows how to play guitar. She's had like 2 lessons. And he was like, oh no, Taylor sings. They were shocked. They were like, no, she doesn't. What do you like? Our quiet daughter, because I've always been like the super quiet one, even in my huge family. Like I have a ton of cousins and aunts and uncles. I was always just the one that just kind of sat back and just kind of watched people. I'm very much a people watcher. Like I just observe stuff. And they were shocked. So we came down here. I think I was 18 by then. And I hopped on a stage, first time. Never performed by myself in front of anybody. And obviously I didn't play guitar yet. So I was singing to tracks. And I started performing and it went really well, surprisingly, because I was scared out of my mind. But a lot of the people that were involved with the show and other just artists, they loved me. And, you know, they came up to my parents. Oh, we love Taylor. Please bring her back. And my parents are just like, okay, thanks. And we leave the venue and they look at me and they're like, were you lip syncing? And I was like, nope, this is me, y'all. Like, they were like, oh my God, I think we have something here.
No Milli Vanilli going on there, right?
Yeah. So after that, I started coming to Nashville to sing for that TV Comcast like every 3 or 4 months. And then once I was 21 is when I really started to dive into doing like my own shows, you know, at bars and just restaurants and different venues and things like that. And that's basically how I got started. So I always just credit Paul for, you know, taking me to Nashville, because I don't know if I would have ever stepped on a stage if he wasn't like, we're going, and just me being like, okay, like, whatever you say.
Oh my gosh. Talk about being thrown to the wolves.
Yeah, it was like, have fun. But you know what? It's what I secretly wanted to do my entire life. So it was very scary, but it was also just this incredible feeling. And I'm so glad that I did it. There's a lot of things that I've done in my life that I was like, I don't know about this. Like, I'm scared. And then once I did it, like riding a roller coaster, and like, now I just want to do it all the time, right?
I got over those days. I can't even look at one now without feeling a little queasy.
I was terrified of him. And then my dad was like, you're getting on this ride. And I got on and then we rode it and I got off and I was like, let's do it again. So now I love theme parks and stuff like that.
My gosh, you're going to have to check out Six Flags in St. Louis. They have a great one. They still have it. It was called Mr. Freeze. And I remember you go around and then you have to go vertical.
Yeah.
For a long ways. And then you have to go backwards around the whole thing.
Oh, I love that stuff. We used to go to like Kings Island all the time and like Holiday World. That was my jam. Mm-hmm. I love that stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is great. So as you're going, I mean, you said that you were kind of getting into music a little bit later in life as far as actually finding out about it. At the time, did any of your friends know that you were a singer?
Yeah, a few, like my very, very close friends. Sometimes I would, put on little shows and sing, or we'd have little singing competitions just amongst us, or if we were driving around, they'd be like, oh, sing this song, la, la, la. But I never really told anybody. I mean, I was always involved in like choir in school and stuff, but I never did any solos. I was always, with a big group of people. So really only a few of my friends knew, but I don't even think they really knew that like this was something I wanted to do until I started actually doing it.
So who were some of the influences and people that you were listening to a lot back then?
Yeah. So I grew up on country music, a little bit of Southern rock, a little bit of blues, but I remember growing up listening to, she's not even that much older than me, but Miranda Lambert is a huge influence on my music. She's probably my absolute favorite artist. But, I listened to Tim McGraw and Faith Hill and Reba, the classics, Kenny Chesney. And then obviously you got to throw in Johnny Cash in there. But I was listening to some Southern rock stuff, Little Leonard Skinner, Molly Hatchet, stuff like that. Because my dad loved that kind of music too. So very like a good mix of stuff. But even today, like Miranda Lambert is still a huge influence on me.
Right. Nothing like busting out a little flirting with disaster in the middle of a show.
Oh yeah.
I bet that would throw him for a loop, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah. Well, it's funny. I do all kinds of stuff that people are like, I wasn't expecting that. And I'm like, hey, I never want to be predictable. I always want to keep people, guessing and, just wow them, I guess, got it.
Right. Get what you pay for.
Right.
So now you got into songwriting as well because you've written some songs. Do you remember the very first song you ever wrote?
Oh yes, and it was terrible.
Why do I always get that answer?
Oh.
I ask so many, and they always say the first one was terrible. And I ask them after that, have you ever revisited and thought, I could make this song better? I could tweak it. I could do this. I could do that. Do you think you could do that with the first song that you ever wrote?
I actually have, for like a split second, I went back to it and was like, I bet I could do something to this. And then I think I got distracted and started writing something else. So maybe one day I'll go back to it. But you're typically not good at it the first time that you do anything. I'm
Right.
way better now at performing than I was when I stepped on the Nashville Spotlight stage, when back then. And but we might revisit it. Who knows?
Right. Well, and I can understand that because, I've done a lot of interviews over the years. And when I think back to the first one I did, I think, gosh, I was awful. And I'm sure I have that somewhere, but thank goodness I don't know where it's at.
Right. There's no evidence to be found.
I may still be awful. I don't know, but we'll just go with that. And I'll act like I'm better now than what I was then. So when you're writing, what was, I mean, like, who's some of the people you look up to as far as their writing goes?
Let's see. Well, like I mentioned before, Miranda Lambert, she's very just truly like unique and authentically herself. And that's something that I respect and try to do in my own writing. Ashley McBride is another artist that I am just crazy about her songwriting, and I love her as well. She's a big influence on me today. Chris Stapleton is another one. Love his stuff. Kentucky, little Kentucky fan, right? A little extra
Right.
Kentucky love there.
Got to show Kentucky love there, right?
Yes, but man, his songwriting, he's written for so many people, and the way that he, especially this album, his most recent album that he put out, I was just even more blown away by the songs that were on there. And I think he's another artist that is just honest and authentically himself, and that's something I really respect. And the kind of artists that influence my songwriting and just like my music in general are typically artists that don't play the game. They walk to the beat of their own drum, and that's what I want to do. And that's why I fell in love with country music to begin with, is they're very good at storytelling.
Right.
That's
Very
what I
honest.
love that. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you think back to sticking with the songwriting for a bit, if there was one song that you've thought back and you're like, damn, why did I not write that? What song would that be?
Tin Man by Miranda Lambert.
Good
It
song.
is my favorite song of any artist, any genre. It happens to be like the saddest song of all time, but those are like my favorite songs. But yeah, that's definitely one that every time I hear it, it's one of my favorite songs to cover too. But anytime I see her play it live, I just like melt. I'm just like, I can't. Like, it's just so good, and it's so real, and it's so just well written, and I think
Right.
it's something that is very relatable to really anyone.
Absolutely. Miranda's a one of our favorites. My wife and we've actually, I think our first date was to a Miranda Lambert concert.
Oh, that's a great first date.
We've been to so many concerts since, I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure, and we still have the cup from that night.
Oh, I love it. I have a ton of her t-shirts, and
Yes.
I've actually spent 2 of my wedding anniversaries with her. So my husband always gets me tickets, and he's like, "Go have fun."
Ah,
And I'm like, "All right."
is he not a fan of Miranda?
I'm gonna plead the fifth on that one. We're not.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll go with that. We'll go with that.
No. He likes some of her stuff. He's definitely more of he likes jam bands, so he's definitely like Widespread Panic and Grateful Dead and Fish and just things that I don't really listen to.
Yeah, the 7-minute Tool songs and stuff like that.
Yes. Oh yes.
Yeah.
But I've started to get him into some country like Texas, red dirt country, stuff like that. He loves Chris Stapleton. So he's starting to get, on my wavelength with the music and whatnot.
Right.
I always joke around with him. I'm like, "So do you not like my music? Because I'm a country artist." And he's like, "Babe, you're a blues artist." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "I love your stuff, but you're a blues artist." So, I'll
Just
take what I
because you're
can.
from Kentucky does not make you a blues artist. Let me say that. I'm kidding. But no, I mean, that's great. Have to introduce him to little Co Wetzel. Maybe that'll get him off.
Oh,
Of that.
he loves Co.
Oh,
he does love Co. Yeah.
Well, he does have a little bit of good taste. We'll
Right.
give
Yeah.
music.
He's
We'll
learning
give him that.
slowly but surely. Yeah.
You're teaching him well.
I try.
He's gonna hunt me down. I can guarantee it.
He's fine. He can take it.
So let's I mean, I've talked about the songwriting and stuff like that, and we asked, which is one of my favorites questions, like I said, the one about the song. One of my buddies put up here. I'll show you one of the comments here real quick. You can see my award. Radius, I don't know what you're talking about. But speaking of awards, thank you, Radius. Very good segue there, by the way. Let's just go over some of these real quick because Taylor is not one that has not been lauded in the industry. I mean, she has had nominated for Southern Fellows Country Artist of the Year. She was, hang on here. I got to get over. Let me get my pointer over here where I can figure out where I'm at. Let's see. I'm having to go through. There's so much I can't figure it all out.
Could have done like bullet points.
Right. Absolutely. I should have straightened all that out. Emerging International Artist of the Year in the UK followed her song Praying to the Whiskey. Great song. It was nominated for International Song of the Year in Ireland.
Yes.
She's also been nominated for local awards in and around Kentucky, favorite female vocalist. I'm going to butcher this. Let me get this out. The Josie Awards, Female Country Vocalist of the Year.
Yes.
Also, see, is this the? I'm trying to see, is this the Kentucky? Nominated for Lexington Music Awards for Best Female Vocalist, Best Singer Songwriter. I told you I suck at interviews.
No, I've heard your interviews. They're good. I love them.
Best Country Interview. Well, there's a new one for you.
Yes, sir.
Best Country Artist and Song of the Year. You won in 16, 18, and 19.
Yes.
You've also opened for Chase Rice, Riley Green, great friend of mine, Angelina Presley. I don't want to say formerly of the Pistolantes because they still do some stuff.
Yeah, I think they were actually writing some new stuff just the other day. I saw them posting about it, so I'm excited.
Yeah. I love Pistol, even though they neuter every man in America.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
I won't disagree with
if you
you
listen
there.
to Pistolantes, you are either a very brave fellow or you need to turn in your man card. One or the other. See, Sam Riggs, Striking Matches, Leah Turner, another favorite of mine, and so many more that you've opened for. I mean, that's just the short list. And you see how long it took me. You've written songs for other people, some of your close friends. Hannah Wright, you had a song on her debut album. Karen McCormick, you had a song on her EP. You're also a co-writer on Christmas in Philly, which Serena, Serena Soul Brown.
Mm-hmm. Which I never thought I would do, is write a Christmas song.
And you got a song on an EP coming out this year, Crystal King's Jesus and Jail.
Yes, a good friend of mine. Crystal and I write a ton of stuff together. And she's also just a really good friend of mine. She's one of the first people I met when I moved to Nashville. So we've probably known each other, probably about 5 years. And her and we just get each other. We're always just kind of on the same wavelength. And we love writing very similar style stuff. So I'm really excited for this project she's going to be putting out here soon.
And those are the stories that I really enjoy whenever that kind of thing's going on, because I tell you, it is just amazing when you got your friends there.
Yes.
And all the things that you guys do together and things like that, and you just it makes it so much easier to write songs. Now, of course, just coming off this lovely pandemic that we're kind of working our way out of right now,
right,
that shut a lot of people down, put a lot of people on Zoom rights. Did you have a lot of those?
I had a ton of those. Yeah. Me and a lot of my girlfriends were doing the Zoom rights, which is so funny because they're really just like down the street or, just up in Nashville. And I'm like down here in Spring Hill. So we're really not that far away. But it was just one of those things where it was like, hey, I know the world is kind of off right now, but that doesn't mean we have to stop creating and writing. And it was also just a good time to be like, hey, how are you doing? What's your mental state? Like just have a good time and just try to forget about what's going on in the world and just really get into that creative space and laugh and maybe enjoy a drink or two while you're on your Zoom,
Right.
Right.
Golly, that wasn't thunder, by the way. That was me slapping the daylights out of a mic stand. Radius, my buddy, he has seen me MC shows before, and I used to have these huge yellow sunglasses that I would wear. And so he's telling me to get those out.
Them? Why don't you wear them anymore?
I don't have them anymore. I don't know what happened to them. They've been lost in in all the moves. They've been lost. Wink, wink. I'll have to resurrect those. I'll have to go find some and get those back on. But anyway, let me see, because I already asked you the big question on there. So let me go back here on when you're doing your shows. I mean, a lot of people, when you do a show, you're doing cover tunes and stuff like that. And I'm Radius. That's such a lame excuse. I get one question that I like to ask is, what's your favorite song to cover in your sets?
Ooh, I have a few. One of my favorite songs to cover, it's also probably a fan favorite. I get a request for it probably at every show, sometimes multiple times. It's A Simple Man by Leonard Skinner. That's, it's the first song or one of the first songs I ever learned to play. And it's one that I just personally love myself. But over the years, playing it out at my shows, I've learned that it means a whole lot to different fans. And they have some kind of like unique story with it. So it makes it just kind of even like 10 times better getting to perform it, because I know my fans like truly, appreciate it and they connect to it. Freebird. No, I don't do any Freebird.
You just heard the guy in the back of the room yell, "Freebird!"
Yes, yeah. I always tell him I'll give you a free bird, but
I love that. That is like...
I swear I'm sweet. I'm so nice.
Oh wow. So Radius has got a good question here. We're talking about that, but what's your largest crowd participation song that gets you really feeding off the crowd?
I'd have to say either when I sing Gunpowder and Lead, the ladies really get into it, but there's actually a lot of guys that get into that one. That tends to be a real rowdy song to do and people love. And then sometimes I'll do These Boots Are Made for Walking. People love that. It's always
That's
a
a
fun
good
one
one.
to do. Yeah. It kind of probably those two are what's coming to mind right now. Can't You See, the Marshall Tucker Band.
Yeah.
People love that. That's one of my favorite. That's also another favorite song I love to do.
Yeah.
That
I'm gonna have to bring in Marshall Tucker after we get off here and listen to them for a little bit.
right. Oh, they're so good. Just the classics. I love that stuff. I'm old school.
Yeah, exactly. So if you could duet with somebody, who would that be?
Ooh, male artist would be Chris Stapleton. I would love to sing with him. That voice, it's just like, straight to the heart. He's so good. And I know I've said it a million times, but I'd love to duet with Miranda Lambert if I was doing a female artist. That's my girl. Living in Nashville, you see famous people all the time. So you're just kind of like, oh, everyone's just kind of everyday people. We're all normal people. No one's like crazy, just like, I don't know how to explain it. We're all normal people. Everyone is just an everyday person. Whereas like if you were like in Kentucky and you saw like an artist, you'd freak out, right? Because that's just not a normal thing. So I see famous people all the time. I'm like, oh, hey, they're shopping. They're buying their groceries. But if I saw Miranda Lambert, I might have a heart attack. I'd be like, oh my God. I'd have to call my mom and be like, oh my God. So like I'm like standing in the same room as her. Like she is just I love her. She is it's a healthy obsession. It's fine.
I thought mine was until the restraining order, but it's finally lifted, so I'm okay now. Let's see here. If now you can have dinner with one artist from the past.
Ooh.
Okay. Who is that artist and what is your conversation going to be like?
Ooh. We're having dinner or we're having drinks?
No, you're having dinner.
Okay, we're having dinner.
More time. Yeah. If you're having drinks, I don't want to know some of the questions. That can get dangerous.
You know what? Probably Johnny Cash. I'm a huge Johnny Cash fan. I love he just doesn't give a damn kind of thing. Like, this is me. I'm an outlaw kind of thing. And like, I dig that. That's my thing. I'd probably say him. I feel like, we talk about, music and just really like, how did he, go out there and perform and write the things that he did, or, the songs that he wrote and the places that he performed? How did he do that, knowing that it was going to ruffle some feathers, but like he still did his thing, and where did he get that confidence to do that? Because I think these days, a lot of us artists, especially independent artists, when you're trying to grow a fan base, we're like very cautious about what we post or what we say because you don't want to upset anybody. But there has to be a fine line of being true to who you are and just realizing that if someone doesn't like what you say, then maybe those just aren't your fans or those aren't your people. So I definitely, probably ask him like, hey, how did you do this? How did you get through that? Where'd you get the guts to do that?
Right. I think it all sums it up in the t-shirt that he has out, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yes.
He just don't care.
He doesn't. He does not care. And like, sometimes I just want to be that way where I'm like, man, what would it be like to just wake up and be like, I don't care. I'm just going to do whatever I want.
Yeah. Radius comments and says, and I really like this. I think it's really true. Maybe we need to see if we can't get that hooked up that you could write with Ward Davis.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I mean, Ward's kind of got that Johnny Cash mentality. He don't care.
For sure. And, I try to carry that into my music as well. When I'm writing, it's always a joke amongst my friends when we're writing. They're like, if you want someone to die in your song, go write with Taylor because she writes a lot of murder ballads or just like super edgy kind of things. And everyone's like, Drew, if you need help, blink twice. And I'm like, these songs are not about my husband. If Miranda Lambert and Ashley McBride can do it, then so can I.
Hey, but that's a really good song idea because I can give you song titles and ideas all day. I can't write, but Blink Twice would be a really good one. If you did it from that standpoint, like a police officer at the door, if there's any trouble, blink twice.
Like I'm married to this crazy girl.
And like a kerosene type of song, from a guy's perspective.
Oh my God, yes. I love that. That's a good idea. We might have to write that.
Well, like I told you, I can come up with that crap all day long. But, so we've got a song here. Now, this is your latest single. I'm going to play it real quick because I can tell you right now, I want to get it out of the way so I have plenty of time to talk to you because you're just a blast to talk to. Now, this song is kind of atypical of the other songs I've heard from you. Okay. This one's kind of a slower ballady type song. Most of your other stuff is along the Southern rock.
Order yours at civviesapparel.com and buy 3 Rangers whiskey. Not for the weak or faint-hearted. 3rangers.com.
Like a rush of blood to your head with the first hit of nicotine. Like an 88 Chevy burning up a tank of gasoline. Like a quick fix from a fifth when you tip it on back. A type of buzz that comes and goes, it don't ever last. But with you, I ain't coming down. No crash and burn, ain't looking for an easy way out. And it ain't a drug, whatever it is, it's more than enough. And I don't know much, but I know one thing. You got me high on something. Like the worn in leather on an old pair of boots. Like the lazy stretch of a long June afternoon. Like a 10-year bottle of bourbon. Takes time, but damn, it's worth it. Slow to build the fire, but that's what keeps it burning. 'Cause with you, I ain't coming down. crashing bird ain't looking for an easy way out. And it ain't a drug, it ain't a drug. Whatever it is, more than enough. And I don't know much, but I know one thing. You got me high on something. You got me high on something. Cause with you, I ain't coming down. No crashing bird ain't looking for an easy way out. And it ain't a drug, it ain't a drug. Whatever it is, more than enough. And I don't know much. No, I don't know much. But I know one thing. You got me high on something. You got me high on something. Ooh, you got me high on something.
So if you ever wondered, that's what rich chocolate cake sounds like. You have got an amazing voice. It is
Thank you.
so it's so unique. I mean, just that I don't know. There's just something about it. It's not like a normal, higher up female voice. You just got that.
I definitely
Mhm.
have a lower range.
Yeah.
So
But
I always joke at my shows. I'm like, you're probably thinking that you're going to hear a lot of female artists cover songs, but you're not. I sound like a man, so I'm going to be singing a lot of guy stuff. But at first, when I started singing, I was kind of like, nervous about it. And then I was like, no, wait, this is what makes me unique. And this is what my fans love about me and my sound and my music in general. So, just gotta run with it. And, a lot of people ask, who would you compare yourself to? And a lot of times I say, I wouldn't compare myself to anybody. I'm Taylor Hughes. Like, I don't want to be anybody
right.
else, and I'm not trying to be anybody else. So yeah, I don't know where this deep voice came from, but that's what God gave me. So.
Hey, and that's one of the things whenever somebody asks you, who do you compare yourself to? And it's like that's not even a question to ask, in my opinion, because
Yeah.
I have likened people's voices to other artists, but it's still I hate to do comparisons,
Yeah.
and there's nobody out there, quite honestly, right now that has a voice that compares to yours. It's just, just the range and the depth of it is just unbelievable. And I know who this is, and I'm going to put this up, even though, it's family. Chocolate Cake with Soul.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
that's
my
the Chocolate
mama.
Cake with Soul. Yeah. Yep,
Hi, mama.
that's mama.
Hi, mama. I saw my friend Henry was on here, and
Yeah.
I think I saw Brian on here too. What's up, man? Hello.
Yeah.
Shout outs.
I'm sorry you saw Brian on there. I tried to keep people from I really try to block him, but it never
Oh man,
takes for some reason.
sneaks his way in.
Yeah, he always finds a way to get in. And I think he somehow has hijacked my administrative stuff on here to where he can just jump in whenever he wants to. All right, we're gonna have a little fun. Okay, you ready for this?
Oh Lord, I listened to the episode that you did with my friend Joey, and you, Mr. Joey D, and he was not prepared. So I'm mentally prepared, but I don't know if I'm actually prepared.
Well, we're gonna go one step further because we're gonna do one, and then we're gonna go into another one. So I got your number tonight. I'm telling you. So if
Oh,
you're
Lord.
ready, here we go.
I'm ready when you are.
All right, so this is What the Hell. This is a little segment where I just ask off-the-wall questions. I mean, absolutely nothing to anybody, but it's just fun to ask, okay? So we're going to start with one that Kelsey had a question a while ago. What is your, and I'm not saying that this is not something that means anything to anybody, Kelsey. Don't take me wrong there. What's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Ooh, I don't think they make it anymore, but I used to really love the Baskin Robbins. It was like raspberry, but it was blue. It was like super blue, like raspberry. That was always my favorite. But I really like anything with chocolate. Like, how about something that I know they still make is like the Rocky Road. I love like marshmallows and nuts in my chocolate. Yeah. Rocky Road.
That's always good. And quite honestly, I'll give you this little thing right around the corner from my house is a Baskin Robbins.
But we had one near us and they changed it to something else. So sad.
Yeah.
So sad.
This one just came in over, I guess, it was last summer. So, who knows? You come down to this area, you just may wind up go over there and see if they have that.
I will be visiting any place that has ice cream.
All right. Describe your personality in one of these three people. Okay. Jim Carrey, Mariah Carey, or Kanye West.
Which one am I most like?
Yes.
Oh, can I be a mix of two? I'm sure my husband and my dad would say I'm a little Mariah Carey, but I'd like to think I'm more Jim Carrey. I'm pretty goofy. I'm real weird. I can be loud, but sometimes I'm quiet, but I'm just kind of quirky, I love to laugh. I love to joke around.
You're just not out there on the edge like Ye is now, since he changed his name.
Not quite.
No longer Kanye, it's not Ye. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. This is one. I don't know where I came up with this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. If you could take a bath in anything, what would it be?
If I could take a bath?
Yeah, in anything, what would it be? Other than water.
Other than water. How about like a chocolate bath? Like hot fudge, but maybe.
Is your husband listening to this?
I know. I don't want to give him any ideas. I hope my dad's not watching that.
Yeah, I think he might be.
Yeah, he probably is. He's probably shaking his head. They're like, oh, like what? I just really like sweets, okay? Like I love hot fudge is good, but you don't want it too hot because then it'll burn you. But
right.
It can be water, like I don't know, bourbon. I do love bourbon. Like I guess I could make the bourbon.
Hey, there you go. Speaking of bourbon, because we had this conversation, you're from Kentucky. Kentucky's known for bourbon. What's your favorite bourbon?
Ooh, right now my favorite is the Knob 12-year.
Okay.
Yes.
I saw some of the Knob 18 over the weekend. I thought about you and I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. I just recently tried that. I had an interview last week with a very cool podcast called Barstools and Bourbon, and I got to try the 18-year. It was really good. It's still on my favorite. The 12-year is still my favorite, but the 18 was really good.
You're making me jealous.
I know. Well, even my husband's like, wait a minute. Why did I get
I'm just going with a local barrel pick from one of our local stores here. So it's actually it's old stout, but it's one of the barrels that they chose for their own. So it's not, I haven't had it in a while and it's got kind of a different burn than what most of them have.
Sometimes you have to clear your palate for a few months and then go back to something to retry it and see what you think.
Yeah. I got to look into my liquor cabinet the other day and I'm going, good grief. I've got a bottle of Heaven's Door I haven't touched yet. And I got a bottle of Jefferson that was like the See, what was it? It was in wine barrels. I can't remember exactly what it was called that my
I know
wife
what you're
got me.
talking about. Yeah, I did a tour of like their facility and stuff a
Hmm.
few years ago. I went to like this bourbon event, and we got to go and learn about how they made all that, and it was really cool. We got to try it, and we tried their the white dog, I think is what they call it, and oh Lord, it's hot.
Got a little bit of a bite there, does it?
Oh yes.
Your manager said he got the leftover 18 on the set of that podcast, by the way.
Oh yes, yeah. He always gets the leftover.
That wasn't like the backwash, was it?
That's what he said. I said, no, I do not backwash. Absolutely not.
Only for you, Paul. Only for you.
Yeah, right.
Speaking of that, what's your favorite on-stage beverage? Am I going to get you in trouble?
No. It used to be okay. So it used to be I would get a shot of the Knob 12 neat, or I get the 120 proof. Typically the 120 proof. I really love that one too.
Why not?
It's so good. And then my vocal coach got on me and told me I wasn't allowed to do that anymore. So now my choice is water. So this is what I'm on stage. I know a lot of my fans are like, what's going on? I'm like, I'll enjoy a drink with you after. First we have to work, you know, and you know, I joke around sometimes. I'm like, this actually is vodka. So people are like, oh my God. No, not much of a vodka girl anymore. I used to be in college, but then I learned the ways of the world. No.
My wife knows that trick. Trust me. And I'm not going to say how or where, but she knows that trick because it could get us into trouble. So, you know, but if somebody wrote a documentary about you and your career, who would play the lead role? Which would be, who would play you?
Ooh, who would play me? That's a good question. I'm trying to think of some actresses that I don't know. I don't even know any of like the new. I sound like I'm old, but I'm not. I'm not old, but like I'm trying to think of like who like the younger actresses are these days.
You got me. I'll be honest with you.
I don't know. That's a good question. I never really thought about that. Maybe I love Rachel McAdams. I know that's probably a weird one, but I've always loved her. Or I can't think of what her name is, but she played Khaleesi in Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Love her. Can't think of what her name is right now off the top of my head. I'm sure as soon as we get off here, I'll think of it. Those are the only two people that are coming to mind right now, so I have no idea.
Well, let me ask you this, and since we've talked about him already, who would play your husband?
Oh, this is gonna sound really weird because he's not an actor, but Ryan Lochte.
Okay.
You know who that is?
Yep.
Yeah. So now I say that because my mom sent me a picture of Ryan the other day and was like, I didn't know you were married to Ryan Lochte. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she sent me a picture and it looked dead on my husband. And I was like, wow, that's really weird. Like, you all could be twins.
No, they couldn't. He's got a secret life and you just don't know it till now.
Right? Like he's secretly this like crazy Olympian and I have no idea. Except
right, exactly.
I'm pretty sure Ryan probably has like a foot or two on my husband. Like my husband's not very tall. He's gonna kill me if he sees it.
I was trying to say that's kind of mean, but okay. What
fun size? I swear this is water.
Oh yeah, I'm beginning really to not believe that, to be honest with you. Back to the fun size comment. Yeah, gotta have them all. Gotta have them all. Kelsey says, "Thank goodness you're drinking water because you got to stay hydrated." Of course,
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. What is that? Oh, somebody. I have a telemarketer calling me. Sorry.
You should
I
answer
should have
that.
put them on. That would have
Yeah,
been
you should
great.
put 'em on. Like, hi.
We could have had so much fun with them.
Oh gosh, you should hear what my husband does to him when they call. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so.
Oh, I love it. I love it. They call me. It depends on their accent because sometimes I
Yes.
get.
Yeah,
Uh,
I know
yeah.
exactly what you mean.
So, Radius, it wasn't me calling. Oh, Radius, he's a character. He's a sound engineer. So he said if you need a couple of engineers, give him a holler.
Oh, absolutely. Where's he based?
He's out of Arkansas, actually, out of
Okay,
Jonesboro, Arkansas.
that's somewhere I'd like to go. I've never been, so.
Well, we'll get with Radius, see if we can't hook something up in Jonesboro. Used to not be a lot of places to play down there. I don't know that, but I was down there several years ago, so it might have gotten better. I don't know. They do have one country bar in town, so
We'll hit that one.
Yeah, the one they have is called the Electric Cowboy.
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
And I guess it's still there. Radius, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, I haven't been to Jonesboro in several years. When I left. Trust me, I came back to
You're
Missouri.
like, I'm not coming back.
I'm like, I'm out of Arkansas. Let's see here. What is so unique about your music that you feel like people want to listen?
About my music, I'd say a lot of it has to do with just like my voice in general, my tone. I have a natural vibrato that a lot of artists don't have. And when I started singing, I didn't even realize I had it. I just had a lot of people tell me, and I was like, "Oh, that's what that noise is." You know. And I used to be kind of like scared to use it, but I've been, working with a great vocal coach who has just made me more confident in using, my abilities and my gifts. So I definitely see a lot of it. What I hear a lot from fans is just my tone and my sound in general is just so unique, and it's just different than what they're used to hearing, and it's refreshing, and it's cake with soul. It's just, I guess. And who doesn't like cake?
On the cake? There you go.
Who doesn't like cake?
And for people like Brian that don't know what vibrato is, that's the kind of the wavering in their voice when they're singing, Brian. Okay, that's the best layman's way to put it.
But that's a good way to put it, though.
I have to pick on Brian all the time. We give each other
We
that kind
love you.
We already did one of the little things I wanted to do tonight. Now I'm going to switch over to another one because I found out something. Okay.
Oh God, who have you been talking to?
I'm not going to tell you, but it's good. So, Brian, I thought it was called drunk.
Oh God. Hey.
All right. Let's get into this other part. All right.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready for this?
I don't know. I'm a little nervous.
So have you ripped the back off of any more cars recently?
Oh no.
I think they were yellow, if I remember right.
Are you talking about my Mini Cooper?
Could be.
Listen, okay. I can't help it that I just have I'm just crazy strong. No. So like I used to have this little yellow Mini Cooper, and it was the cutest little thing. My parents bought it for me as a surprise. I was like living out in California for a few months working for my aunt, and I came back from California, and there was this little yellow Mini Cooper, and I had it for a while. But I was actually, I drove that thing literally into the ground. I was on my way to a gig, and I was loading all my equipment into the back of my little yellow Mini Cooper. And if y'all have seen a yellow or just a Mini Cooper in general, the entire back of the car is like the trunk door, right? So it's lifted, right? And I'm putting all my stuff in, and I go to pull it down, and the whole door comes off my car. And I'm just like I'm 5'5", 25 pounds. So like I'm holding this door, this very heavy door in like the middle of this parking lot. And like all these people are just staring at me. And I'm like, none of y'all are going to help a girl out. Like, oh, hello, what is going on here? Like, and it's all men too. And like all these men know me because I was at my mom's work. And like all my equipment was like in a truck she had. So I was like moving it over. And I'm like, a little help here, maybe. And like I don't even remember how we got it back on. Like maybe duct tape. I don't know. But
MacGyver that damn thing.
I'm like in mad panic, like trying to get to my gig. I'm like, I'm gonna be late. And somehow I made it on time and the gig went great. But I don't know if you heard this part about that car, but I had that car when I first moved to Nashville, all right? And like so when it would rain, it had a sunroof. This was so embarrassing. When it would rain, the floorboard of my car would fill with water. And like when we first moved here, we didn't have like a garage to put it in. So if it rained, I'd have to like go out there with a bucket and like scoop water out of my car. And my husband was like, well, you're getting rid of this car now. But me and that little Mini Cooper went through a lot.
Oh, we were in the middle. Oh, there we go.
Like it's we probably should just call it like my little yellow submarine because it's kind of what it was.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
But it did. Like it was at this point where I was like, does it get any worse than this? Like, you know, I feel like just being an artist, like these are the things that a bathtub, yes. It's kind of like a bathtub.
Yeah.
And that was now I have a car that works, thank God. But it just you know, just look at the time it was not funny. But looking back on it, I'm like, wow, why did I keep this car for so long?
That is awesome. Oh my gosh, that is just so great.
Oh my God.
You know, but it's a testament to your perseverance of getting to a show because
Oh yes.
you know the basically the whole
back into my car.
rear end of your car. I'm trying to think of the nice way to say it. I don't know why, but the whole tail end of your car come off. You're standing there holding it.
I was getting to that gig no matter what.
Oh my God.
So not even a floor full of water.
And that's the worst feeling in the world. I've had that happen before, and you're like, what in the world how did it do that? You know?
Yes. That was my thing. I was like, I don't understand. Like, why?
Yeah, I had an old Pontiac, a little Pontiac G6 that did the same thing.
Yeah.
And that clear caulk is great for that kind of stuff. It looks a little redneck.
Hey,
but, you know,
you got to do what you got to do. Like
Jeff. Oh, Jeff Hastings. Jeff's a great guy, and this was his response.
the song is oh, what's funny is that I do have a song about this whole thing happening.
There you go.
It's not one that I play out much. It's an old song, but I do have a song that references that, and it's called "Nothing to Lose." So, if that tells you anything about my life.
Wow. And your manager Paul, have you ever seen the SNL bit where they're talking about more cowbell?
Yes.
Okay, so Paul says more duct tape.
Yes. That's
unfortunately I don't have a duct tape ripping sound.
I wonder if we can find one.
If I did, hey, I got a microphone.
We can make it work. Oh no, you froze.
Up again. Golly, we're freezing up. There she is.
There we go.
Yeah. I was just saying, I've got a microphone, a recorder, and duct tape. I'll make one and send it to you.
Yeah, we'll just do it. We'll DIY that.
Right, exactly. So what are some of the pre-show rituals that you go through?
Yeah, so nothing too crazy. I always do my vocal warm-ups, and they're just so lovely. very lovely sounds. My husband.
You want to show us? You want to give us an example?
Oh no, you don't want to hear. Well, one of them sounds like a siren, like if you heard like an ambulance coming. That's probably my husband's favorite. But they're like ear piercing. But I always do, my like 10 minutes of warm ups. Then I'll sing through a couple of songs. I always have a cough drop, and I never finish the cough drop. I only eat half of it, and then I throw the other half away, because if you eat the whole thing, I don't know why, but to me, it just doesn't work. So you have to only have half the cough drop. But yeah, nothing like too crazy except for that. But
what about the cough drop? What flavor?
It's like a lemon herb honey kind of thing. Yeah.
Ricola.
Yeah.
There you go.
I refuse to use any other kind. It's always that one. And I have
that's my go-to for my vocal warm-ups too. So
oh gosh, they're so bad. And like I'll be in the car doing them, and they're really like they're ear piercing. And my dad, if I'm with him, he's like, "Oh my God." Or Drew's like, "Are you done?" Like, "Are you done?" I'm like, "No, I'm not done." Like,
well, hurry up.
this is part of my job. Like, do you want me to sound good? And he's like, "You're fine. You don't need to warm up." And I'm like, "Yes, I do." Struggles.
Remember all that money I paid for vocal lessons?
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
I got to get my money back somewhere. You're in Nashville, and I'm sure that you are listening to other bands or solo artists or stuff like that. And Brian, can't wait till our sound checks. Yeah, he's talking more about the sound guy and the fact that he can't hear the
We'll have a great time, Brian. It'll be fantastic.
Yeah. But where was I going with that? Oh, okay. So you're hearing artists in and around Nashville. Who do you think right now is kind of underrated beside yourself, underrated as far as, as artists go?
That's a good question. I have a girlfriend, obviously, like the girls that I surround myself with, I think are just all amazing. Like I said, Crystal King is a really good friend of mine, and I think she's a great songwriter. She's very, very good at that. I love writing with her. She is, like I said, a really good friend of mine, but she's very, very talented. But another artist who's pretty much like my sister from another mister, Miss Audra McLaughlin, who you probably know. She and I have become really close, and we've done some touring, and she stays with me when we tour in Kentucky. We stay at my in-laws, and we drink bourbon all night, and her and I are just very like in tune with each other. And she's just unbelievable. And I'm very picky when it comes to vocalists, probably because I'm a vocalist as well. And I remember the first time I heard her, I was like, oh my God, like this girl is insane. Like she's so talented, but she's also just like a really good person. So her and I play a lot of shows together, and it's just so much fun because I love just like sitting there listening to her. Like she's so good. I think she's definitely underrated.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I got a text from her earlier, by the way.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, not about you. So I don't have any good juicy stories from her about you.
I'm sure she'll have some to share eventually.
Yeah. And this just reminded me of something. I apologize. I think I forgot this today. Is that not? Hang on. Let me look at my calendar here. Is that not on my calendar? It's not showing up on my calendar. That's today or tomorrow? No, tomorrow's election day. Anyway, Jeff just put up Happy Veterans Day to everybody. And Jeff, I apologize. I missed that somewhere along the way. And okay. Well, when I just got a 411, and I'm going to leave it right there because I don't want to blow that one. But now you're pretty involved. Now that we talked about Veterans Day, you're really involved with veterans. It's Friday. Veterans Day is
Yes.
Friday. Thank you, Jeff. You're super involved with veterans, and I've heard that you have family that was really that are veterans.
Yeah.
Um,
My opa, my mom's dad, was in the military. He was in the army, and that's actually where he met my oma. She was, I believe she was a nurse, I think. I never got to meet her. She had passed away from cancer before I think any of the grandkids were born. But that's where they met. I have an uncle that served in the Navy for a long time. I have some cousins that were in the Coast Guard. My brother was in the Navy for a short period of time before he was medically released. And then, I have a lot of fans that are veterans or active military and friends as well. So it's really important to me to just try to help in any way I can. I've worked with Folds of Honor. I started working with them a little bit this year, specifically with Bourbon with Friends, which is another podcast. They're very big into helping veterans as well. So they got involved with Folds of Honor, and that's how I kind of met some people in there and started working with them. And then obviously with you all with Freedom Jam, I found that out and was like, wow, I'd love to get involved and help any way I can. So I don't think they get enough recognition, even our veterans and our active military.
Right.
So it's very important to me to just show my appreciation and do what I can to help. I'm actually going to be doing a fun little giveaway for our veterans this week as well. So,
okay.
going to be sharing some of that on my page later. So you guys make sure to check that out. But
Is that going to be on Instagram?
Yeah, it'll be on Instagram and my Facebook page. So I'm doing the little giveaway thing on there. So.
All right. So you guys be sure to check that out. And I know that you work with a lot of veteran musicians, John Eason. You mentioned Joey, and I don't remember if Joey served, but I know he wrote a couple of songs about veterans. And he's friends with a good friend of mine from Florida.
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of great artists in Nashville right now. I don't know. Do you know Scotty Hastings?
I know of Scotty. We don't personally know each other. But yeah, like Joey, I don't think Joey served, but he had like family members that did. And him and I are very passionate about that kind of stuff too. And I know he's been working with a lot of military and based things as well. So whenever him and I get together, we usually talk about that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah. He just did a song not long ago that was a military
13 Folds.
Yes, 13
Yeah.
Folds. And then he had another one that came out after that. 13 Folds was the big one.
Mm-hmm.
And he had another one that came out that he did for Forgotten Coast Canine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So, then, like I said, John Eason, Scotty, we've got other guys, Kevin Nichols, who is from South Carolina. He's not really in Nashville. He's one of those that got smart and decided that Nashville wasn't for him. He just did his No offense to you. No, don't think that way.
Well, it's funny that you say that because before we ever moved here, we actually talked about moving to Texas. Because when I opened up for Chase Rice and Sam Riggs, they were doing a show together and I was their opener. And we might have partied together afterwards for a little bit. But while the drinks were flowing, we were hanging out and talking. And they were like, Taylor, you need to move to Texas. And I was like, I don't know. That's kind of far. And they were like, your sound is perfect. They would love you down there. Like, that's your thing. And I was like, well, I think maybe Nashville's going to be the first stop, and so that's how I ended up here. It's still, it's still close enough to home, but it's still far away enough that it's like, big girls moving out.
Right.
But,
it's like putting your big girl panties on and leaving, but you still got home there.
Yeah. But what's cool about Nashville is like, it's such a songwriting hub. And that's what I love about it is that everyone we love to co-write and there's just so much talent in the area. I would love to make my way down to Texas. I have a girlfriend that lives in Austin that constantly is telling me, you would love it. You got to come down here. Like, so that's what we're hoping to be doing next year. So.
Right. I'm not sure if somebody left a guitar with Radius or something, but he wanted to know what brand of acoustic guitar you play.
I have a Gibson J45, which is the one I typically use for my shows. I have a Crafter, and then I have a blue Ibanez. So.
All right.
I also have a black Fender, but my Gibson is what I use the most.
I started saying he's got some sound guy thing behind that. I'm sure. I'm sure. He's a good guy though. He really is. If you could pick, say you're producing a music festival, and you're gonna put 3 headliners on this show. What 3 headliners are you gonna put on this?
Ooh. Probably Miranda. Let's see. I guess it kind of depends on what area of the country we're doing it in. Because some people would like certain other people more.
That's a curveball I've never had thrown at me before.
Yeah. Hey. Gonna test you. See?
Right.
Obviously Miranda. Either Chris Stapleton or Morgan Wallen. I love Morgan, and obviously I love Chris. I've never seen Morgan. I'd love to see him. And then I think I'd have to do another female artist. I think we need them headlining stuff more. So, you know, I just recently saw Brandy Carlisle for the first time live.
Oh my God.
That girl puts on one hell of a live performance. Me and my husband were shocked. Like, I always knew she was talented, but like, I wasn't expecting the show that she put on, and it was phenomenal. So maybe like Brandy, Miranda, and like Chris. Let's
There
go.
you go.
That. I feel like it's a good mix, you know.
I mean, you know, you got oh gosh, Miranda, what, 4-time female vocalist of the year, or is she at 5 now?
She's probably got like 20. Who knows?
Yeah. And then you got, you know, Chris, who's won all kinds of, you know, Grammys and everything. Brandy's won a Grammy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, hey, if you're gonna go big or go home. That's
right.
the way that one. If there was anything that you could change about your music career, what would that be?
Ooh, that's an interesting question. You know, I like to say that like I wouldn't change a thing because I feel like I'm where I need to be based on the fact that like I think God has a plan for me, and we all have our own paths. But what I do, if I have to say it's one thing, I wish I would have started my career earlier, like at a younger age, for sure.
That's exactly what your manager said.
Is it?
He knows you well.
Yes.
That's great. That is great. So if people are trying to find out more about Taylor Hughes, tell me where they're going to go look.
Yeah. So first I'm going to tell you to go to my website. It's taylorhughesmusic.com. If you go there, you can subscribe to my website. I send out a monthly newsletter. It's not spammy or anything. It's just one time. I let you know what's going on. And you can also stay up to date where I'm touring. I always keep that up to date several months in advance. And you can also get to all of my socials on there as well. They're all like on the little corner up at the top. But if you're going to like Instagram or Facebook, they're Taylor Hughes Music. I am on TikTok. I believe it's Taylor Hughes Official. You can tell that I don't use TikTok that much. I'm trying to learn. It's really difficult. Okay. Like I told y'all, I'm old school. Like Instagram and Facebook are my thing, but I'm starting to get into the TikTok world. So that I believe is Taylor Hughes Official. And then my Twitter is @Hughes_music. But you can also find, like I said, all those socials are on my website as well.
Well, you're talking about being.
Oh, one of us is frozen.
Beyond that. Uh, so speaking of shows, you've got Glasgow, Kentucky coming up. You've got
Yes.
Bowling Green, Franklin, Nashville.
Yes.
You're going to be at the Listening Room, Bourbon Breakdown Writers Night in Nashville, November 23rd. I think I need to check my schedule. Let's see, Opry Backstage Grill
Yes.
in Nashville. So if you're heading down to Nashville, you can go check those out. I'm sorry, I just saw where you're playing in Glasgow, Kentucky, and I'm like, really?
Yeah, you gotta hit all of them. I'm a Kentucky girl. I gotta, hit every city. I'm playing at Yancey's. I've never played there, but I've heard it's actually a really popular spot. So I'm really excited. And I have a friend that plays there a lot too. So, and she seems to like it. So we're gonna try it out. I'm really excited, and I know they called us earlier today to confirm and tell us they were excited that I was coming. So I'm ready. I'm ready to go play.
All right. Well, I'm like I said, I don't know. I don't know how far I am from Glasgow. I worked in Murray for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I worked there for about a year and a half or so.
It's about 30 minutes from Bowling Green.
Okay. So it's a couple hours, I think. I think Bowling Green was like an hour and a half or something like that, hour and 15 minutes from Murray.
Yeah, I'm
it
hitting
was
that.
more, I want to say northeast, maybe.
Well,
Was
you
it
don't want
closer?
to ask me because I have no sense of direction. If I didn't have a GPS, I'd be lost.
To be honest with you, I don't either. It just sounded good at the moment.
Well, I was coming home the other day and my husband was like, well, you want to make sure, I don't know what the GPS is telling you, but you need to go east. And I'm like, I need a road name. I don't know what is east, what is west.
Yeah.
I'm just not, it's not happening. I would be so lost without my cell phone.
The best thing is I bought a new truck about a year, not a new truck, new to me truck about a year ago. And it tells me the direction that the truck is going.
Oh, that's nice. That's helpful.
Well, if I'm headed south and I need to be going north, I know I need to turn around.
Yeah, right. My car's not that fancy. It'd be like you're on your own toots.
Right. That's like the ones that, tell you your door is ajar. No, it's not. It's a damn door. Oh, man.
Those backup cameras that are on, I hate those. I can't use them. And they're my husband has one on his truck and my dad has one on his. And they're just use the camera. And I can't have the car telling me what I'm doing. I can just do it myself.
I had those on mine, and we bought my wife a vehicle and had it put on hers, and she doesn't need it. I mean, she can parallel park a freaking Suburban,
Really?
and
I could in my Mini Cooper, but I don't know
you don't
if I
have
do it.
Parallel park a Mini Cooper, you just pull in straight.
Exactly.
I mean, come on.
Well, I loved it, and then they just wanted to fall apart, and I was like, okay. I guess this is the end.
and then Paul has to chime in. In her case, the door is afar.
Yes.
It's afar off from the car.
That's for sure.
Oh, that is awesome. Well, Taylor, I tell you, it's been great. I only want our time to end, but to every good thing must come an end. And tonight we're just gonna stop it there. But I have a feeling that at some point we're gonna be running into each other before too long. I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
So we've got where to find you. You just go to taylorhughesmusic.com. That's the best place to go. It's got all the other stuff right there. If you want on the socials, if you want to find out where she's at, find out the latest. Well, it's got some news on there. I'm sure the Hello newsletter. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm sure it'll tell you a lot more. And you can find her music there. It's on Spotify. It's on, looks like iTunes. And
it's literally, all my music is on every single download or streaming platform. So you guys can find me anywhere.
And then also, if you want to, like I said, you can reach out. You can leave her a message and tell her how wonderful it. Oh, there's the blue guitar. How about that?
Yeah.
Blue Fender. Yeah. But you can leave her a message and tell her how much you enjoyed the show tonight and everything. Radius. He's a great sound guy, but he's very cheap.
Will work for fuel.
He has upgraded. It used to be food.
Yeah, like fuel is pretty much gold. So,
Telling you. It's like if you can find somebody to pay for your fuel somewhere, you better take that gig. I'm telling you.
Oh,
man.
yeah. Not forget the food. Like, put some gas in my car.
Yeah. What's your bar tab? 10 gallons.
10 gallons. I'm going to try that.
Start putting that in your rider,
Yes.
Do not require bar tab, require 20 gallons of fuel.
Yes. That's a good idea. I'm going to use that.
Start just playing bars that have gas tanks.
Yes. There we go.
Well, it's been awesome. You guys go and look Taylor up, and we're gonna have High on Something on our geez, gosh, I'm losing my mind, on our playlist on Spotify as soon as the show's over. Maybe, I'm not quite sure. Don't quote me on that. It might not happen. But go check it out and check out Taylor. Go to the website. Join the newsletter, most importantly.
Yes.
Stay in the loop. That's right. Stay in the loop. And then if she's going to be playing anywhere near you, then you definitely need to go check her out. And if you like to travel and she's not going to be near you, well, go check her out anyway. It's that simple.
Yes. Everyone loves a road trip. Or if there's somewhere that you guys want me to come play, send me a message and we'll add it to the tour schedule next year. Exactly. Figure out something along the lines. So, Taylor, it's been great. Thanks for coming on, hanging out with me tonight. I've had such a blast. Me too. My cheeks hurt from laughing and smiling so much.
People are saying this is hilarious. This is such a great interview. Taylor's so funny. And I mean, I've had so many comments, I can't even, keep them on here. Yeah. And by the way, if you do know of someplace near you, be sure to put the club name in so that they can look that up as well. You got to know where. You can't just put a town.
Yeah. Give me some
it's not easy to find a town. You can Google them and find them, but it's still hard to find the bars. So anyway, you guys have a fantastic night. We'll see you back here on Thursday. I think I'm going to leave it at that right now because I need to double check the confirmation on that one. Hopefully we'll have somebody on Thursday, and we'll see what happens then. Y'all take care. Have a great night.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to follow Before Nashville on all social media and listen wherever you get your podcast. Tune in again for another country star of tomorrow on Before Nashville with George Davis. I'm Kevin Casey on behalf of Worldwide Pants. Have a great night.